Hey guys, it's me Ram here, and in today's video, as it is tradition on this channel, we're going to be taking a look at my main Speedcubes and goals for 2025. Now I'd like to preface this video by saying that while 2024 wasn't a super successful year for me when it came to cubing results and podiums and all that kind of stuff, it was actually very successful when it came to stuff like organizing competitions and this YouTube channel. I met lots of new people this year, including Tingman himself, and of course I was able to do some live streaming for competitions, and also I was able to organize 4 different comps. So yeah, I guess while my WCA results weren't as successful as they were in 2023, I'm still really proud of how this year phased out, and I really hope 2025 will also be great. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just get started with my mains and goals for 2025, beginning with 2x2. So starting with 2x2, these are my 2 main Speedcubes I guess. This is the YJ MGC Elite 2x2 and this is the GAN 251M Pro. I tend to default to the MGC Elite when it comes to official solving because I feel like I can compete a lot better on it under pressure. However, the GAN 251M Pro honestly feels a lot nicer to me, and I'm trying to switch to this officially. Anyways, my goals for 2x2 for 2025 are to break my PR average at least once. My end goal for 2x2 is actually a 1.2, like a sub 1.3 average basically. However, for 2025, my goal is to just break my PR once. I feel like if I'm in a good mindset and just get the right scrambles at the right time and turn properly, I could break the sub 1.3 barrier and pretty much reach my end goal. However, in the last 2 years, despite having lots of rounds, I've only improved my PR 2x2 average by 0.04 seconds. So yeah, I guess we'll see about that. I'd also possibly like to learn some algs over the coming months. However, that'll also depend on how much time and motivation I have, so that's not a guarantee. So yeah, well, I guess that's pretty much 2x2. I'd really like to break the sub 1.4 barrier, but honestly anything can happen and I won't be too mad if I don't, I guess. Let's move on to 3x3. Alright, moving on to 3x3, this is my current main Speedcube, the Moyu RS3M V5 Ball Core plus UV edition. Over the year, I had this phase where I switched around between a lot of 3x3s. I started the year with this cube, then I moved to the Super Way Long, then the GAN 12, and eventually just came back to this cube because I realized it's the best. Still not 100% satisfied with this cube, however, I'm still really happy with it as my 3x3 main, and hopefully I can find a better main for next year. Anyways, recently I got a really good PR 3x3 average of 9.07 seconds, which is actually super good for me. Overall, of course, I'm really content with this average since it's almost a second faster than my global. However, with a little bit of luck and I guess more practice, I think I can bring this down to sub 9. Therefore, my goal for 2025 is to find a better 3x3 hardware match for myself and break my PR average and bring it down to sub 9. Now, let's move on to 4x4. Moving on to 4x4, my current main is the Moyu Aosu V7 dual track version. In my eyes, this is just the perfect 4x4. From the size to the speed, everything just works super well together. Honestly, this cube motivated me to learn 4x4 techniques and just grind the hell out of 4x4, and I was able to bring my AO100 down to 44 something seconds, which is really good for me. A couple of weeks ago at New Zealand Nationals 2024, I broke my 4x4 PR single and average, and while my single was really good, I'm still not very content with the average. Obviously, since my PB AO100 is now faster than my PR average, which is one of the rare events this is actually the case for, I would like to break this PR average and eventually, by the end of this year, have a low or sub 40 4x4 average. One of my slightly tougher goals for this year I guess, but I think it's quite achievable. Let's move on to 5x5. Alright, moving on to 5x5, this is my main 5x5, the GAN 562M UV. Just like the 4x4, I think this is the perfect 5x5 in my eyes. However, unlike 4x4, I haven't practiced this event whatsoever this year, and honestly, I'm just not great at it. I don't know why. My first ever official 5x5 round is my current PR 5x5 average, which is really bad for me. Like, I can't even describe how bad it is. However, to me, I just feel like it's kind of a mental barrier at this point, and I don't really know how or when I'll be able to break it. Therefore, my goal for 2025 is to just break that PR average, that's all. Anyways, let's move on to an even less relevant event in my life, 6x6. Alright, so here's 6x6, and my main 6x6 at the moment is the Moyu Aoshi WRM. Now, just like 4x4 and 5x5, this cube is incredible, but I'm not. I don't think I've done a single 6x6 solve officially or unofficially since July this year, and I don't think I've done more than 7 or 8 solves in the whole year. Therefore, my goal for 6x6 for 2025 is to just get sub 4 I guess on it, a sub 4 official mean or whatever, and yeah, I don't really care about this event. Let's just move on. Moving on to an even more irrelevant event, 7x7. Now, I don't actually own a functional 7x7 right now. As you guys can see, this is just a 6x6 because I left my functional 7x7 back in India. So yeah, all I'm gonna say is my goals for 2025 is to get another functional 7x7 and compete in it officially, I guess. Let's move on to the next event. Alright, time to move on to another event for which my hardware at the moment just doesn't exist. It's clock. Now my clock's with Elias at the moment for Oceanic Champs 2024 and I'm not getting it back until January, but I can't really wait until January to make this video. Therefore, I'm just making it now without my clock hardware with me. But yeah, obviously my main clock is a Chi set up by Elias himself, and the new lilac clock from Chi's Instagram actually looks fantastic. So I'll definitely be getting that when that comes. Anyways, I had quite the interesting journey with clock this year. I ended up breaking my PR average by a lot with like an 8.1 average because I learned 7 simul flip, and my goal for 2025 will just be to improve that average much more and get a sub 7.5 or even a sub 7 average. Anyways, let's get back to events for which I actually have cubes now. Anyways, let's talk about one-handed, and my main for this event is the Moyu RS3M V5 ball core plus UV, which is the same as my 3x3 main. Now this cube is actually super good for one-handed, and yeah, overall it just works really well. Anyways, for 2 years now, my PR OH average has been around 20.48 seconds, and while that's actually quite a good average for me and was even crazier for me at the time, I really want to get sub 20 on OH in 2025, so that's going to be my goal. I don't really know how much time I will put into that goal, because OH is one of those events that, you know, I really can't be bothered practicing because I'm really not that great at it, and my OH turning in general kind of sucks. However, I think sub 20 is definitely possible and I'll be aiming for that in this coming year. Let's move on to the side events now. Moving on to Pyraminx, my main for Pyraminx is just this standard Moyu Weilong Pyra. It's actually a really nice Pyraminx when broken in. However, unfortunately at the moment mine is super slow since I haven't done any sols on it. I don't really care much about Pyraminx honestly, and I cared even less about it in 2024 because my main focus at competitions during Pyraminx is to just film people. Yeah, that's how much I care about the event. But yeah, for 2025 my only goal for Pyraminx is to break my oldest standing PR, which is my 2.22 Pyra single. I'm pretty satisfied with my PR average, which is sub 4.5, and yeah, not really much more I have to say on this event. Let's move on to Skewb. Alright, moving on to Skewb. As you might be able to tell by the logo, this is actually the GAN Skewb enhanced version. At New Zealand Nationals 2024, I had the most pop-off Skewb performance of my life. I'll just list the times on screen, just have a look at that. To give some context, I currently average around mid 5 seconds on Skewb, and now there are 2 paths I can go down the Skewb route. Path 1 is I actually learn stuff like Sarah's Advanced and try and aim for sub 4 globally. Or path 2 is where I hope to get lucky again and get a sub 4 average. Since I don't think I can get much faster than sub 4 on Skewb, and sub 4 will probably be my last goal on Skewb, I'll probably just aim for path 2, hope to get lucky and fluke a sub 4 average in 2025. That's my goal, and let's move on to the next event now. Alright, moving on to Square 1, this is the YJ MGC Square 1 Pro R Maglev version made by none other than Ivan Vanek himself. We're all still waiting on the GAN Square 1 to be released, but for now this is probably the best Square 1 you can get, and honestly it turns super nicely. For Square 1, I recently learned the scallop kite cube shape method and have used it a little bit in my sols. However, I'm yet to be fully comfortable with it. Therefore, my goals for 2025 will be to get comfortable with scallop kite and get sub 20 on Square 1. Let's move on to Megaminx. Alright, here's Megaminx, and my main for this event, as you might be able to tell by the logo again, is the GAN Megaminx Maglev V2 UV version with the black side. I have such a good Megaminx, it should really motivate me to practice a lot more, but unfortunately, like most other events this year, I haven't really done too much of practice of this. Therefore, I guess my goals for 2025 will just be to practice this event a little bit more than I already do, and eventually get a sub 1 minute and 20 second Megaminx average. Let's move on to the next event. Alright, so here's FMC, and for this event I just use any 3x3s. Like here, this is a Super Weilong, this is the RS3M V5, and this is the Tornado V4 M Pioneer. Now FMC is actually my second best ranked event in India, tied with Skewb, and that's actually quite a surprise because I don't do any FMC outside of official competitions. My PR mean at the moment is 35.67 moves, and I can say something like, oh, I practiced a lot and I actually know techniques, but honestly I know nothing. My strategy is to just go for luck. Anyways, my goals for 2025, I guess, if I do get any FMC attempts officially, is to get a sub 35 mean and maximize my luck even more, I guess. Let's move on to the final event. Alright, and the final event is 3x3 Blindfolded. It's the same story with this event every single year. I still haven't learned this event. I'm not even gonna do this anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my mains and cubing goals for 2025. I'm actually super excited for the next year since 2024 was actually a really good year for me, cubing wise and outside cubing. This year I was able to achieve many milestones such as crossing 10,000 subscribers obviously, and I'd really like to thank you all for the support throughout 2024, and hopefully we can have a great 2025. Thank you all so much for watching this video. As always, thank you all for watching throughout this year, and I really hope you guys enjoyed as always, and goodbye.